Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You are what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
His authorization to do legal.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
All right, guys, buckle up because today's court hearing is straight out of the Sovereign Citizen Playbook. On paper, this guy's name is Matthew Aldridge, but at the podium, he's pulling the classic I don't have a name routine. He even calls himself an attorney of fact, which, spoiler alert, is not a real legal thing. These sovereign citizen types always try to argue that courts have no authority over them, but the reality is simple. If you're in the court's jurisdiction, the court has power over you, period. The judge isn't fooled for a second and honestly shuts him down in epic fashion by the end. You'll see, this judge completely outsmarts him.
My name?
Yes, sir.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent in the hearing.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
I do not.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge. Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me. Oh, apparently there's a copy here.
Now, here's where it gets even wilder. The guy claims he's an attorney of fact, and to prove it, he literally hands the judge a piece of paper. That's it. No license, no credentials, just some DIY legal document quoting made-up laws that supposedly give him authority to represent Matthew Aldridge. For those wondering, real attorneys have to be licensed by the state and follow strict procedures. A single self-printed paper doesn't cut it. Sovereign citizens love pretending they've found loopholes in the system, but spoiler, they haven't. The courts run on real, established law, not imaginary ones. And the judge? He's not giving this nonsense the time of day. Honestly, do you think these cases are popping up more, or am I just cursed to keep finding them?
All right. Well, I find that Matthew Neal Aldridge has failed to appear in personally in this court for a plea day on this case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are in fact Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee, and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Is that a article pre-trial?
Do what?
Will that be a article pre-trial? A trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, Certainly, it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you are wasting valuable time to all these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this, and I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. All right. To Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
The judge in this case deserves credit. He handled the circus like a total pro. Calm, collected, and ready to shut down every bit of nonsense thrown his way. The attorney of fact routine didn't even get off the ground before the judge dismantled it piece by piece. At one point, the guy was spouting his fake laws and refusing to say his own name, and the judge just clapped back in the funniest way possible. Usually, judges keep it serious and stone-faced, but here you could tell he wasn't going to waste his time. And honestly, it was hilarious. In the end, it just shows how pointless and ridiculous these sovereign citizen stunts really are.
Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. Trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are in fact Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th. Bond revocation will take place, and his case will be will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
Sovereign citizens really are in a league of their own. These folks believe they can just opt out of the legal system by claiming they don't recognize the government's authority. They'll start rambling about common law or the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code, completely misunderstanding how any of it actually works. Here's the reality. Courts operate under federal, state, and local laws that have been around for centuries and are backed by the Constitution. There's no magical loophole that lets you ignore them. Judges have seen every trick in the book, and none of it works. In fact, trying these stunts can actually land you with harsher penalties for wasting the court's time. At the end of the day, sovereign citizens aren't outsmarting the system. They're just embarrassing themselves. Anyways, guys, that's my breakdown for today. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts about sovereign citizens in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.